Hello. So I am back doing a baking thing this time instead of cooking something like the frittata or whatever that I did last time. This time I am baking. Oh yeah, sorry. I have that'll probably be making noise. I don't know how much it'll interfere with my voice or whatever, but I have the dishwasher on, so sorry about that. But yeah, today I don't know why I decided to make this because I think I made a ricotta cheesecake like 2 months ago or something, and I kind of like the idea of ricotta, I guess ricotta cheese, that is, or ricotta, or regatta as regatta as probably people in New York or Jersey might say it. But ricotta or I don't know how I was saying it the first time. Ricotta, I guess ricotta cheese. That's how I'll say it. But I was like, I found a recipe online, and I was like, you know what? That sounds interesting. A cake, sort of like banana bread, baked in a baked in a loaf pan. So it's just called a chocolate chip ricotta cake. So instead of, say, bananas like banana bread, it's using ricotta, butter and eggs, which banana bread would use eggs as well because everything uses eggs. Don't you know? But yeah, so today I'm making chocolate chip ricotta cake, two of them, and I already did some prep work here because one, it would have been extra noisy when I was doing the loaf pans, crumpling up the parchment paper and then shaping it into this. So I was like, I just did that off camera, as well as this part, because I needed to put more sugar in the sugar thing that I use. So I was like, I might as well just do it here. And also opening up the ricotta container is kind of annoying, so I was just like, I'll just do it off camera. But yeah, so the recipe calls for 250 grams of ricotta cheese, and the 15-ounce containers of ricotta cheese are about 425 grams. So I was like, all right, that's neat. That's close. That is close to 2 times the amount for one 15-ounce. I didn't want to get a 32-ounce just because I didn't want to just have, basically half a container of ricotta that I might not use or whatever. So I was just like, I'll just get the 15-ounce. Get the 15-ounce ones. But that also means that if I do 2 and 2, I'll be a little bit low, slightly on liquid, like probably about 30-40 grams of liquid, technically. So I was like, all right, so I'm modifying this recipe for 2 using a 15-ounce container of ricotta cheese. And instead of 3 eggs per cake, I'm doing 4 eggs, because 1 egg is about somewhere around 40 to 50 grams. 1 large egg is around 40 to 50 grams of liquid inside of it, approximately. So that should compensate for that little slightly less liquid or whatever. And yeah, the recipe, one cake requires a stick and a half of butter, 200 grams of white sugar. So I put 200 grams. I think that's a cup. I think a cup is 200 grams for sugar, granulated sugar at least. So I think it's a cup. Could be, I could be more, but so don't quote me on that. I'll link the recipe in the description, but I'm going by the metric system. But yeah, so stick and a half of butter, approximately 215 grams of ricotta cheese, 200 grams of butter. I have to cream them together. I have the butter at room temperature, everything else should be at room temperature. After I'm done creaming this together, I'll mix the eggs together with this and vanilla. But yeah, I'm using 4 eggs instead of 3, just because of my particular situation where I have just slightly low on the ricotta for 2 of these. But yeah, that's about it, I guess. So I suppose I will start mixing and stop yapping so much about it. Now, this butter isn't, I mean, it's probably like perfectly, you know, technically room temp, but usually I would have had it left out a little bit longer because I forgot to take it out last night. So it's only been sitting at room temperature for about 2 hours or something. So it's still probably a little bit, just a little bit more solid than it'd be great for creaming or whatever like this, but shouldn't be a big deal. Now, like, all things considered, I mean, I don't know how this will come out. I'm sure it'll be generally fine, but this is a fairly simple recipe, all things considered. It's not like too many ingredients, too crazy amount of ingredients. The process is fairly standard, I guess you could say, for any kind of like cake batter, thicker cake batter, or like, I guess, a banana bread kind of batter in this cake. A quick bread. A quick bread is, I guess, the term for what banana bread and stuff like cornbread is. It's a quick bread. It's technically whatever the hell that really means is a bread, but it's not using for the leavening agent, the stuff that gives it the fluffiness and the air incorporated into it. It's not using what do you call it? Yeast, some kind of yeast or whatever. Instead, you're using something like baking powder to do that. But you know, that's also kind of weird because whatever by these stupid definitions, because, like, I mean, any other cake isn't using yeast either. It's using baking powder for the baking powder or baking soda or a combination or whatever. Those as the leavening agents to incorporate air into it as it bakes, or to, you know, make air bubbles to give it like the that, you know, characteristic of cakes and stuff, the airiness, the bubbles on the inside, the air pockets. So why something like banana bread and cornbread is considered a quick bread instead of just a cake, I'm not entirely certain. Honestly, I'm not entirely certain, and you know, if you got an explanation for some of these people, you probably wouldn't get a very good one either. So, so it's like, yeah, I don't know. Doesn't really add up that much to me personally, but hey. So, this is surprisingly strange texture, which I guess makes sense, because what I probably should have done, I mean, it probably won't really matter that much in the end, but we'll have to see, I guess, is cream the butter and the sugar together first, and then incorporated the ricotta cheese. The recipe did say to strain the ricotta, but the ricotta brand that I got, Poly-O, Poly-O, it's got like a parrot mascot or whatever. It's probably one of the more expensive brands, I guess, but supposedly it's one of the better ones. At least my uncle recommended it when he had a ricotta cheesecake or something that he made, and I was like, all right. Even though it's more expensive, but it does seem to be fairly well strained already. Like, it's not very wet. There's not much like liquid left in the container when you take it out and stuff. So I figured I won't even, why bother straining it if it's already fairly dry, but I don't know. It could be a little bit more liquidy than is intended, but I guess this shouldn't be expected, because this shouldn't be unexpected, because as we've gone over, the emulsifying effect of eggs or whatever is whatever water is causing this to be kind of like this texture or whatever should emulsify with the butter fairly easily once the eggs are added, which when you think about it, maybe that's a good thing I'm adding a 4th egg instead of just 3, because maybe it'll help it give it more structure or consistency or whatever, more uniform consistency. I don't know, but yeah, I guess the consistency could be worse. I'm probably gonna be done mixing this or creaming this one for now, because I don't see myself making much more progress on it until the eggs are added and stuff. And then I'll start on the second one. And yeah, I'm doing this in 2 separate bowls, even though you could do it in one. Just because, similar to with the frittatas, doing it this way makes it much easier to keep the amounts that you pour in when you actually pour the batter into the baking dishes, to keep it consistent, instead of once you add stuff like the chocolate chips, those, just anything in general. So it's like, if possible, just for the consistency of the batter and for how much you're putting in each thing, I think, and how much stuff gets incorporated with each thing, I think it is better to just have 2 or separate bowls for each thing, generally. Depends on the recipe and depends on what you're making exactly, but yeah, if you're going to be baking in like 2 separate things over the process, it's probably better to just have 2 separate bowls entirely for each mixture. Okay. That's about as creamed as I think that's going to get. Now let's start on the second. It's funny too, because on my current diet thing, I'm almost very likely not even going to, by the time this is, maybe, I'll have to see by that time. I'm getting sort of close to being like, alright, I guess I'll start transitioning back into a sort of normal, quote-unquote, normal diet or whatever, back to what I was sort of doing before. Kind of just realizing that I'm pretty sure if I don't want to have as many problems with like gut issues or gas and stuff, and like, that sort of shit, I'm probably just gonna have to avoid some things, or at least reduce their amount to different amounts if I ever do eat them or whatever. But I'm still testing stuff, but it's just certain things have definitely failed those tests that I was like, oh, well, so, yeah. I don't know exactly what's up with that entire thing, but, oh well. Not the end of the world, I guess, for certain things. But, yeah, I'm probably, by the time, like I said, by the time, I'm not sure, but I might not even eat any of this by that time. This is mostly for just having something to give my dad for his lunch as a dessert or whatever. Even though we have prepackaged crap, I don't know, I just prefer to have something that is more homemade, available, and all that stuff. And I felt like baking something, I guess, so figured why not. And it's something different. Haven't bake something that I had. Well, I mean, it's not that different, but it's a different recipe than some of the others I've used and repeated fairly frequently. So that's always interesting to have something a little bit different to see how it turns out and stuff. And yeah, if you have a stand mixer and all that shit, you could always use that instead of doing what I'm doing by hand. But as I've probably said before in videos from months back, I kind of like the more ease of cleanup that comes with doing it just with the manual process here or whatever, as well as more control over the entire thing, I guess. There's almost no chance you're gonna overmix. Well, not in this case. Like, you can't really overmix in the creaming process. It's kind of not possible. But once you start adding the stuff like the flour and shit, then you could technically overmix if you were not careful with a stand mixer and stuff. Whereas if you do it by hand, it's not impossible. Not entirely impossible for that to happen, but it's much less likely. Yeah, this is definitely a strange consistency for the creaming process, but oh well. We'll see. I'm sure once the magical eggs are added, it'll all just kind of start coming together and making sense. Hands getting a little bit tired. I don't know why I decided to record this particular one. I was just like, well, if I know I'm gonna make something today at this particular time, I'm like, you know, what the fuck? May as well record it. What the heck? I'm not gonna record the entire baking process or any shit like that. Because this one is supposedly will take about an hour, but I'll do just as I did last time, and I'll show the end result or whatever after it's baked and everything. Alright, there's still some decent chunks of butter in there and stuff, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be getting too much progress with those at this point, so I think I'm just gonna hope that's good enough. And start adding the eggs. Start using the Danish whisk instead of this wooden spoon for that part. Just wash the spoon off real quick. This water is very hot. Very hot water is definitely the best for cleaning things, but it's also quite painful when hot enough to be touching your bare skin for very long. Let this dry over here. And for the eggs. Let me take the vanilla out as well. Oh, shit. I think the camera should be fine, but might have knocked it out of position a little bit. But yeah, so 4 eggs each. I'm doing, and this says do one at a time and then mix. I think I'm just gonna mix them all at the same time and say fuck it. I don't know. Or put them all in and then mix instead of doing one at a time. Then like it doesn't really fucking matter. I don't think. It might just take a little bit more effort to get it fully incorporated. Let's see. This one, this one, this one, and this one. Yeah. I'll do these. Why did I take them all out? I don't know. I just wanted to check the sizes so there's some consistency between these as much as possible. Oop. There's a little shell in there. Just a little shell. Where is that? No, that's not shell. That was the mixture. Okay, now these eggs are wanting to be slightly difficult. What I'll do is just add all the eggs. To both, and then mix them individually once that's done. Let's see. All right. This. Yeah. So you don't have to wipe up twice. I think it said 2 teaspoons of vanilla, so as I usually do, I'll just eyeball that. Really not gonna hurt much by putting a little too much vanilla extract. Say a little bit too much or a little bit too little. I mean, you'd probably rather have a little bit too much than too little, because that could affect the flavor and all that, depending, you know, depending on how much the recipe in question relies on that vanilla flavor or whatever. But yeah, it snowed quite a bit here. What was it? 2 days ago? From that whatever snowstorm or whatever shit. I think we got about 20 or like 22 inches maybe, something like that. From what I heard, I don't know. I mean, it sounds about right. So it was a good amount, that's for sure. Though, once again, not warranted for as much as people were panicking going to the stores and freaking out and all that dumb shit. Never appropriate for how much it was or whatever. It's always an overreaction with the that shit. But I was kind of surprised that Matt only got about like 10 inches. I was thinking, you know, it seems like all the time, like whatever Matt's weather is, it's pretty much the same here. So I was thinking he would have got basically the same amount, but no, I guess not. So that's good. That's good for him that he didn't have to shovel as much. But yeah, and then the day after, yes, definitely enough. The day after, we got like 2 more inches of snow, but that really was barely anything. But it was still just, you know, just adding more fucking snow to the equation. I think that's about 2 teaspoons. Definitely not exact there, but that should definitely be enough. So I'll put this empty egg carton away where this is like my carton that I use because I like the sturdiness of it. That I just use as the keep these at room temperature eggs when I need them. Did I get all the yolk and egg whites and stuff? I'm pretty sure I did. Alright. I'm gonna start mixing. Let's see how this consistency becomes. Just break these up. While I'm at it. And yeah, for the sake of incorporation or ease of incorporating at this point, yeah, it's probably better to do one at a time and all that bullshit, but fuck it. If you know you're gonna mix it a pretty good amount anyway, I generally don't think it matters, so yeah, just do it all at once, fuck it. Overall, the snow wasn't like that bad to shovel or anything. It was pretty fluffy, like only very slightly wet, but pretty fluffy. And unlike the last stupid storm that we had like a few weeks back, that like, you know, almost everybody in the country seemed to have been affected by, or whatever fucking shit. This one, it didn't stay like super bitter cold for like fucking weeks on end. It was like, you know, still sort of close to freezing, but warmer than that. So a fair amount of the snow was already kind of melted, unlike with the previous bullshit storm or whatever. It was kind of just, it just wasn't melting. Like, it was just over fucking like weeks, and it just barely was melting because it was so fucking cold. But in this case, it wasn't like super cold, so it's already not mostly melted, but it's already melted a good amount. Like in our front yard where we were putting almost all of our snow for from our driveway and stuff. It was basically became like a fucking Mount Everest almost, like pile of snow. Now it's back down to like a pretty, it's still about 5 feet tall probably. It's still like around my eye level, but it's a lot smaller than it was initially. Yeah, so this is still pretty. If I was the person who made this recipe, I think I would have in the instructions said add the ricotta after creaming the butter and sugar together first, then add the ricotta, because it's still pretty chunky. But I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. It's just like, yeah. Also, probably my butter could have been slightly warmer. Just slightly. But yeah, I think most of this chunkiness is because it would have been better to cream the butter and sugar together on their own and then add the ricotta afterwards. Because now you just kind of have a lot of chunks of butter in there. But overall, should be fine. Just have to see, I guess, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna completely destroy the recipe or whatever, the end result. All right, yeah, I don't think mixing at this point is gonna change much else with this, so I think I'll move on to the second mixture. Ah, shit. You try to do it, without making a little mess, and then that happens. Not a big deal, but okay. But then after this step, we will be adding the dry ingredients. In this case, salt, baking powder, and flour. Oh yeah, and then after that's all mixed together, then the chocolate chips, or whatever you plan on adding. Just a riveting video here, right? Just watching somebody mix together fucking some shit. But hey, that's outside of the preparation part, that's a lot of what baking is. Well, okay, it depends on what you're making, like and I mean, even then, like, even if you're just making stuff like loaves of bread and shit, you're still doing a lot of fucking mixing, so just as I'm going, I'm trying to break down some of these chunks of butter that I see into smaller pieces and stuff. But I've had something like this happen similar with the, and it didn't really even come out like poorly or anything in the end. It's just, yeah, it looks funny while you're doing it. What was it? I made cheesecake one time, and I don't know what happened. I changed the order accidentally or some shit, and I put like the either sour cream or the cream cheese. Yeah, either sour cream and the cream cheese or something in there at the wrong time before creaming the butter first, and then it just kind of became like this. Creaming the butter with the sugar together or something first, and then it became kind of similar to this consistency, like chunks of butter, like curdled looking almost. But yeah, I from what I recall, it didn't really affect the end result that much though, so it's like, hey, whatever. We'll see with this one. but once again, I think that's probably about the best I'm gonna really get at this point. So I think time to start doing the dries. Let's get on with it. And I guess I'll put the oven on preheat. I think it's 350, and then it's like for approximately 60 minutes or until a toothpick inserted, blah blah blah, comes out clean. Yeah, so let's put the oven on 350 or 350. And yeah, now we just need to get this flour out. Oh yeah, and these towels are here just because to better wipe your feet when you come in from the wet snow. They got all dirty, obviously, but probably by tomorrow, I'll probably pick them up, shake them off, throw them in the washing machine and stuff. But because most of the snow in the walkable areas is gone over here, so it's like, yeah. But how much flour? I think it was 270. Flour, no, 219 or 220, about 220 grams of flour. And then on top of that, baking soda and salt. Yep. So 220. Yep, 220. And I'll just do the other one at the same time, because why not? Yep, 222 in that case, but those little extras don't fucking matter at all. Bacon can be a precision thing, but in most cases it doesn't really matter that much. To be exact, precise, or whatever. Alright, so I'll do both again at the same time, fuck it. Oops. Just a bit of flour, counter, wipe that up real quick. Right here. So, I don't even need the scale, because I'm going by volume measurements for the little shit. Let's see, how much was it? I think it was 2 teaspoons baking powder. Yep, 2 teaspoons baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon salt. I'm gonna do like half a teaspoon approximately, because I like salt. I will probably have to open up another thing of baking powder, because this one is kind of almost empty. That's 1, 2. Yeah, that's about eyeball it. It's about perfect, the amount. I will keep this container, I think. Could be useful to put in small amounts of, like, what do you call it, like, beef fat grease or whatever the hell you fucking call it, and then, you know, as a container just to put it, to throw it out later or whatever. But yeah, so that's approximately the baking powder needed for both. And then about half a teaspoon of salt for each. Yeah, that should be enough. And that should be enough for sure. Wipe this off, or rinse this off. Try it over here. That is a weird pattern going on with that middle griddle. Guess there's a fair amount of humidity or something within the oven or some shit. Oh, this one, I knew something smelled. I'm like, what the fuck? This fucking one. She left a fucking idiot. I was smelling, I was like, why am I smelling like fucking fries? Well, there you go. This one left a pan of fries in there. This fucking one, man. Really, I was like, what the hell is that? I'm like, hopefully there's nothing like a bunch of grease, like, at the bottom of the oven or some shit. Causing it like, the burning stuff at the bottom of the oven, like causing it to burn or some shit. I was like, why am I smelling fries? There you go. People leaving fucking shit in the oven. Okay. So I will start mixing this dry stuff. And after that's done, move that. After that's done, we'll add the chocolate chips. Mix that in. And yeah, it's a good idea if you want to be proper to sift stuff like your flour, so there is less chunks of flour like this, as well as mixing your dry ingredients together before putting it into the wets. In my case, I'm just like, fuck it. In most cases, I haven't had a problem just putting the dry. I mean, sometimes I will, depending on the recipe, but for stuff like this, I'm just like, it's fine. I just mix the dries as best as I can on top like this. And then after I feel like that's good enough, then I just start mixing the wets with the dries directly. It's just, I don't know, it's just less shit to clean. But, you know, if you're trying to do like some proper fucking bullshit or whatever, you would have a separate bowls for the dries, have those mixed together well first, and then incorporate the dries into the wets. In my case, I'm just lazy. I don't feel like cleaning more shit if I don't need to. As I said, in most cases, I have not had a problem just doing it like this, putting the dry on top of the wet, piling it up like that, and then mixing it as you go. my right hand gotten quite a working so far. Not that this hasn't been like super thick or anything like that, but just the fact I'm doing 2 separate recipes or whatever, so mixing twice. Got my arm a little bit tired here, slightly. And yeah, you can still see those pretty big chunks of butter and shit, but fuck it, whatever, man. Alright, I think that's mixed about as much as it's really gonna get within reason, so move on to the next one. Yeah, it should be fine. I will say I was definitely a little bit sore from the the amount of shoveling or whatever, but wasn't really too bad, all things considered. Yeah, this is this is definitely not the smoothest looking batter, but oh well. That's just one of the nice things, though, is with the Danish whisk is when you want to, you could really just fucking mix it real a lot. Without, I mean, it's tiring to do that for too long, but you get it mixed up real nice, and it glides through it pretty well. All right. Okay, now the chocolate chips. I think it's, what, a cup and a half or some shit it was? Who is texting me? Okay, some bullshit. I'll just leave that there for now, whatever. 270 grams of chocolate chips, or whatever you are adding. In this recipe's case, chocolate chips. Probably anything would work, but that's usually the safe bet for most things, is chocolate chips and all that. Even though now they've gotten supposedly pretty expensive in many areas because of bullshit not milk shortage nonsense with the cocoa farmers or whatever the fuck, stupid crap. definitely not my work here. Alright, so 270. Some of these have bloomed. That's fine though. Doesn't really mean anything. Alright, 270. It smells nice. It smells nice, I know that. Was it Nestle that we were talking about? Yeah, Toll House, Nestle, so. But hey, what fucking place can you get away from Nestle? Nobody. all these all these fucked up evil not milk mega corporations and shit. Alright, that's empty. I think I have one that was already open. Yeah, I do. Of this other brand. It's probably the same not milk horse shit. What is it? This is like better, the more expensive brand. Girardelli? I don't know how the fuck you say it. But yeah, it's the more expensive brand. Oh shit. That's alright. 10 grams more, not a big deal. Depending on what you're making, it's probably worth it to get the better, more expensive brand, I suppose. I think they do. I mean, they both smell good, but I think the more expensive one does kind of smell better. It smells more chocolatey. I've had the Toll House butterscotch chips before. They were fucking disgusting, revolting. They were so fucking... They were so artificial smelling. I was just like... It was just disgusting. I would never get those again. The butterscotch flavored... butterscotch chips or whatever that Toll House makes. I don't think they're that popular, but yeah, those were nasty as hell. Yeah. Their peanut butter chips are fine though, I think, but those butterscotch ones were fucking ridiculously disgusting smelling, so chemically. They really just, I think, tasted and smelled like a even stronger chemical-y version of like those Dum Dum lollipops with the butterscotch flavor, but at least with that, it's just like a little bit. With those chips, it was nasty as hell, man. Never again. But for Toll House chocolate chips, peanut butter chips, I'm generally okay with. I'll have to see the with the hype with the chocolate chip prices and stuff. Like, I guess it really depends, but there's they definitely have gotten more expensive, but maybe not as much as some of these people that I keep hearing or whatever. Like I love chocolate. I think it's hard to say that anyone would dislike chocolate, but I don't really care that much. Like, if I wasn't able to use chocolate chips, I would just alter recipes to not use them. Like, I don't know. I would just use something else, like nuts. I mean, nuts are expensive as shit too, so it's like, fuck. So, nuts or something else, I don't know. Or just straight vanilla or whatever, brown sugar, molasses, I don't know. More spices, that kind of shit. I'm not saying I'm gonna stop using, like, stuff like chocolate, but if it got to that point, I wouldn't really be that, like, broken up about it. Do what you will, not milk. I don't give a fuck about your stupid shortage pushing horse shit. What's next? What's next, assholes? What's the next thing? Did eggs, doing chocolate. I forget what the other ones were. So many other things. I guess beef, technically. Still doing that or whatever. I'm sure there's many other things. Oh, okay, yeah, electronics. So like graphics cards for PCs and all that horse shit. What was it? RAM for PCs. Just general any hardware for PCs, because the supposed AI crap, that's always, you know, they always have a stupid explanation for these stupid, fucked up bullshit shortages that they're trying to push. So what's next, not Nope? What's next? Alright, I think that's mixed together enough. I will put this whisk over here. Rinse off most of it first. I don't know, what time is it? Is the dishwasher almost done? I don't know what that sound is it's doing. Is it already doing the heated wash? I don't know why it's doing that. Weird. Whatever. I think it makes sense. It's just strange. Okay. Now, time to put these in their pans. Put these in the pans and then throw them in the oven. This one looks like more. Probably this one, I think. So I'll put it in this. These silicone spatulas are real nice for this, for scraping the bowl clean or whatever. Alright. Just even this out just a little bit. I think I'm gonna possibly put these on a metal pan, because I think this should be fine. Because usually this kind of quick bread doesn't rise like that much, like a crazy amount. I just want to kind of eliminate, want to have some insurance just in case it decides to rise up way more than I'm expecting here and make a big fucking mess in the oven. So I think I might put these on a pan, or sit these on a pan or whatever first. Right, next one. I guess that's probably a characteristic of quick bread more than other cake batters, is it is a lot thicker. This is more like uh, a muffin batter consistency than, like, say, just like a vanilla cake batter or something. Like, the end result is going to be generally more dense than anything, or dense than like other cake recipes or whatever. I guess that's probably another characteristic of quick bread over just cake or whatever. That came out very nice. I like working with loaf pans personally. I find them quite interesting. Seems fair. Seems good enough. Just a little bit like this. Yeah, that should be good. Damn it. Alright, that's fine. Would these fit on this? I think this might be too small. Well, I think it not just that, but I don't think it would very well work for the purpose I'm going for, that being contain potentially any mess that might happen. I don't think there will be any mess, but, you know, I'd rather have a little bit of insurance. Just in case. And that seems fine. Yeah, I think that's all right. Oven light on, oven mitts on, so I don't burn myself. And in you go. In you go. I'll put just 62. I think that is fair. Always making a mess on this thing. But okay, so those are in there for 350 for 62 minutes. I'll probably check them about halfway just to make sure nothing's over browning on the top or any shit like that. But yeah, I am going to cut this section of the recording, and you'll see me back in a moment when these are baked, and then I'll show you them. I probably won't show afterwards, that being after I take them out of the pans, but it's really not that big of a deal, I don't think. They pretty much just look as they will for the most part. But okay, so I'll see you in a moment for the end result. Okay, I am back, and it is about 1 minute before. If you could see, I don't know, from that, it's about 1 minute before an hour has passed, so I'm gonna grab a toothpick just in case, even though I'm sure they'll be plenty cooked by now. Get this out of the way. All right. Ooh, that's curious. This one has like almost like a blowout almost. I'm not sure why. Let's see. It's not wet. Yeah, it's coming out clean, so pretty sure they're done. Alright, let's turn this oven off, turn the timer off, turn the light off. What was that? So something. Oh. Liquid? Oh, yeah, a little bit of liquid. That's butter or what? Okay, it's fair enough. This is why it's a good idea to, yeah, there's like a, might just be condensation or some shit, or possibly butter or something, but that's why it's a good idea to put this in a pan like this, I think. Because I had a feeling, I was like, there might be a little bit of stuff here. After the cooking is done. It appears I was correct. I don't know what it is. I'm guessing it's probably butter. That's alright though. I'll wipe that off better later. But yeah, that's why that's why I was like, yeah, it's probably a good idea to put those in a put those in a catch pan or whatever. Because otherwise, all that shit would have went onto the bottom of the oven, which obviously I prefer not. But yeah, it smells decent. I mean, it doesn't smell bad. It just doesn't smell like huge amount, like butter, chocolate chips, hint of vanilla. Smell pretty good though. They look pretty good too. Not the same exact way as banana bread, like except for this one, which, you know, obviously had that little tearing at the top there. That's usually what banana bread sort of does. This one, it was more flat, which is interesting. I'm not sure why. Not exactly sure why that one did that. But yeah, they look pretty good. I mean, I'll have to let them cool in the bread pans the not bread pans, the loaf pans. I'll have to look these cool in the loaf pans. I think these are 9 by 5, 5 by 9. They're pretty standard loaf pan sizes, by the way, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, whichever ones you potentially get or whatever. I think these are 9 by 5. But yeah, they look pretty good. I have to let them cool for probably at least an hour, and then take them out, maybe 30 minutes, and then take them out of their pan, and then let them cool more, just on outside of the pan, I guess. But yeah, they look pretty good. Probably on the Discord group, I will show when I finally cut into them. Probably not today, maybe tomorrow or something. But yeah, in the video, it'll just be the these finished, baked, just out of the oven. How they look, and they look pretty good. Possibly, for some people, a bit overdone on the top, but I didn't want to put like foil or any dumb shit over it. It's fucking, who gives a fuck? To me, it's silly. Pointless to do that. But yeah, to me they look like they came out pretty good. I would say if you're gonna use parchment paper that's overhanging like I did, probably a good idea to put a catch pan like I had, because otherwise you'll have some melted butter dripping onto the bottom of the more than likely have melted butter dripping onto the bottom of your oven and stuff, which that'll eventually burn and stuff. So yeah, you don't really want that, I would imagine. But yeah, they look like they came out pretty good. Yeah, that's about it for this these ricotta cakes. I'll have to ask my dad, you know, how he thinks they taste, or I mean, I'll probably see through the texture myself looking at it, but yeah, I'll have to see from that. But hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one, I guess. But yeah, take care.